All right. Welcome, everybody. Raul, Steve, Nathan, Organic, Crypto Golfer.
Now Tom doesn't even say his name. He doesn't even say, "Hi, I'm Tom."
Oh, yeah. That
He just
part.
goes,
I'm
right?
Tom. That's George.
Not that you can see me,
Oh,
but I'm here. Freaking Tom.
I always forget that one last button.
Oof.
So now tell me how long it takes, because I already pressed the button. What's our lag time here? You see
Lag
yourself
time's
yet?
usually like 30 seconds. You know what I mean?
I don't know how to fix that. We don't need a lag.
Yeah.
What's the lag?
I think it's because the people on YouTube.
Oh, like different speeds of data streaming. We got a hola, howdy, hello, good morning, or good day to a few, says Gary. Hello, Gary. All right, Raul says you hear us. Hopefully you hear us.
Is this
and
like
see
a
us.
new thing now, Monday, or is this like an emergency? Tell us what's going on with Bitcoin.
Well, that's one of the polls I want to run today. I got like 6 polls I got in mind. And Monday morning, so the Monday morning live stream is going to be, that's going to be one of the polls. But I want to get people on here so we can
It's
get.
going to be one of the polls.
Hey, we need to know what do
Can you
the
describe the
people
ruckus?
want? While we're at it, while we're trying to get people on the live stream, if you guys could be so kind as to smash the like button, I would appreciate it. It helps the live stream in real time.
Well, how do you know they're going to like it?
Well, let's assume per se at this point that you're going to like the live stream, because later if you didn't like it, then you can unlike, and then you got that option's always open to everybody, as far as I know. Hello, Todd, Raymond, Miguel, Tom, Z. Morning, guys. It's my first time catching you from the beginning. Welcome, Z. Glad you could join us. Raul said market's down, but Bitcoin's holding. I wonder if we should sell miners if market falls, as their price is half NASDAQ and half Bitcoin. Yeah, it definitely depends on the day. I mean, you can see this. We got to go back to last Thursday. So this orange line is where Bitcoin was when the U.S. equity markets closed last Thursday. Last Friday, the equity markets were closed in both the United States and Canada. I'm not sure about the rest of the world. But since then, you can see, I mean, Bitcoin's up. So let's see if this is exaggerated. How much are we up? We're up 1.2%. 1.1%. But on the flip side, the market, so the market's down. So the first thing I look at, as you guys probably know, is the NASDAQ. It's down 0.84. That's I think the most directly correlated to what we do here. S&P 500, that's really the broadest measure. That's down 0.5%. And then the Dow is almost flat and the Russell's up. The Russell's bizarre.
Gold.
Oh, let's look at gold.
I look at gold
2001.
Oh, it's down, huh?
It's holding on. It's down $24.50. It's hanging on to 2000. Silver just dipped under 25. Hello, Ray. So, yeah, that's the equation, and we seem to be having conflicting. The last several trading days, whatever the market's doing, Bitcoin seems to be doing the opposite. And none of them have been huge moves, but, you know, the market's up 1%, Bitcoin's down 1%. The market's down 1%, Bitcoin's up 1%. And it seems like that trend is continuing today. And then, depending on the day, for the most part, I think the Bitcoin miners have traded more with the NASDAQ than they have with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is stuck, as we'll see when we look through all the charts. We are in an unbelievably tight trading range. So really, all these ups and downs, we have not left our very, very small trading range, which I'm going to also show you why I think that is a very good thing. And
are we still over the 200-day moving average?
oh yes, the 200, the one I measure, the 200-week moving average is the one I've been paying the most attention to. Eric said Bitcoin looks strong today. What's the dollar doing? So, I mean, no huge movement. The DXY is at 102.7. So that's still right around that 103 mark. It got down down to maybe 101 at one point. Well, let's bring that up. So we're still under this green line. And, you know, that's where we had our last little bull run in January. This one is not really playing out the same way. And it's, we've had a similar run here, but we haven't had a run up in the market in the same way. So, and you can see this is the fourth green day in a row. But all of this still leaves it. We got down, what was the low? We got down to 101.4. So this 103.7, you know, that was the 20-year high. That's become the new normal, but we got to remember that's a 20-year high. But the dollar really has a lot of room to the downside. And in my opinion, not much room to the upside. And I'm just waiting for it to really break back below here and stay below this 103. I mean, everybody's concerned that the dollar's going to fail. Meanwhile, it's still sitting here near its, you know, 20-year highs. So something's got to give. Peter said, hi from Denmark. Thank you. Welcome to you and all of Denmark on your behalf. Jeltsin says, guesses for the CPI. So I got some of that data that I'm going to bring that up for sure. We got to talk CPI because that is Wednesday. So CPI data on Wednesday, that is the big data point for the week. And I think it is going to affect the market to a certain extent because the market is now more and more convinced that the Fed is going to do a 25 basis point rate hike. And CPI data could be the one thing that moves that. So we'll see. We'll see, but let's go. We take a quick look at that right now. If you have not, if you would please smash the like button. It helps the stream live in real time, so much appreciated. 45 likes. We were getting 100 likes every single stream. Last time we fell short in a big way.
Well, it was Good Friday.
That's right. It was Good Friday. The market was closed, so excuses. So this is just to take a quick look at CPI. So you can see, I mean, we are a long time into CPI moving in the right direction. It peaked at 9.1 in June of 2022. So that was a long time ago, but all of these numbers were not good. 8.5, 8.3, 8.2, but they all did move in the right direction. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months in a row that the overall top line number has moved in the right direction. But this month, the expectations are very high. So if you go down, and somebody mentioned this in the comments, if you look, the consensus expectation is 5.2 from 6. So that's a big jump down. That would be the biggest jump down, right, out of all of these. So, and that's expectation. So now it becomes less about, you know, beating 6 is not what the market's going to judge anymore. The market's now expecting 5.2. So, you know, if it comes in at 5.5, even though that's way down, that could potentially be considered a hot number. And that would potentially, you know, this all has to do with what the next Fed meeting is. When's the next Fed meeting? I think in a couple of weeks. So this is the second CPI report since the last Fed meeting. So this will have an impact. if this isn't going down as fast as they want it to, you know, then that 0.25 rate hike, I think, looks seriously like a 0.25 rate hike right now. So that can be another one of our polls. We'll see what you guys think. I've been thinking 25 basis points all along. I still think that is the case. And with this expectation so low, it's hard to imagine anything's going to happen here on CPI that's going to change that.
I mean, it's not like we're going to get a real CPI number anyways.
Yeah, we're going to get whatever number they tell us.
Yeah. It would just be revised. Well, you know.
I love the revise. We revised last month's number and 2 months ago's number.
Isn't that amazing? I don't think they've ever not revised a number.
No, they always revise them.
I mean, that's why it's so weird that people even, like, you know, do anything based on it.
I know. The thing is, I mean, this is the only data you got when you get it. And yeah, you know it's going to be revised in the future, but the market has to hedge its bets, if you will.
Okay, I have something kind of on topic, but a little bit off topic.
Fire away.
And maybe you can give me an answer. If Florida is declaring that they're not going to use a CBDC or whatever they call it, what does that mean to, like, FedNow or anything else to that nature?
I mean, I think the only thing that it's going to mean is literally they're not going to allow businesses to transact. And, you know, I don't, that's probably a pretty deep dive question because I don't know what authority they have over the banks.
Well, yeah, it's a federal chartered bank and it's a state chartered bank.
Right. So, but mainly I think the law is there. It's I don't want to say a token, but it's a pushback against a centralized token, and, you know, digitalized money is what we're talking about. And Florida, so for those of you who don't know, the state of Florida essentially banned the CBDC, which doesn't even really exist yet, so it's premature, but no,
would that ban include FedNow?
I don't think so. I don't know, though. That's a valid question.
Well, isn't that a crypto?
It's more of a method of moving money than a centralized currency, I'm going to say. I think we got to read exactly.
And then here's my question. Isn't it just the same thing as Cash App and Zelle?
Well, I would argue all these things, including CBDC, are virtually the same thing in you know, the way that the consumer would use them. So that's the reason I don't think they're necessary, because we already have a decentralized cryptocurrency system. Why would we want a centralized cryptocurrency system?
And then here's the last question. Don't you think that's going to go up exponentially with this, now they don't have to print the money?
You're saying the supply?
Federal Reserve, yeah, debt, isn't it going to go up?
Well, I mean, is it going to be any worse than it has been? We're 30-something trillion dollars, and we're in the United States here, so we're talking about the U.S. debt. The U.S. debt is spiraling upward. That's just, I don't know. That is a problem that we are not going to
somebody
solve. Yeah, exactly. Time will tell.
I'm just curious if what the adaptation of that rule will mean to Florida. You know what I mean?
The question is going to become, what do other states follow? You know what I mean? Is Florida on its own island and everybody accepts this and moves to that system and accept Florida? Or, are there a series of states who say the same thing and there starts to be momentum in that direction? So, right now, like I said, the coin doesn't even exist yet. So I think we haven't really had the full debate on this and argument.
Rallo says, I assume the settlement in Cash App or Zelle isn't in dollars, but accounting for it in banks. I think it actually probably is in dollars. And the bank settled the Fed over 2 days. Interesting. I think Zelle is just kind of like a credit card app, right? Where they do a batch and they settle it out, and then they all agree with a 1 day turnaround time, or something to that effect.
I don't know what the underlying technology on that is. That's like you're talking like the Lightning Network, but all these pay apps were around way before then. I imagine they have to use the exact same system that the banks have to use.
Well, what gets me is that everybody's saying that this Bob Lee guy was killed, right? I'm not saying that. I mean, they're saying, but why?
He was killed. That's
No, he's not dead. He's alive.
Oh boy, yeah.
He lives on in the meta universe.
That's possible. He was uploaded into the metaverse.
Yeah. No, so my question is, why was he killed? That would be, you know what I mean? And no one can answer that question.
So your question is, was this a random act of violence, or was this a targeted event? We don't know.
Yeah, that's why I was just curious. And if it's the same thing, because it would have to be the same thing.
It's a very high-profile murder. That does not happen very often.
Oh, in the Fed, so it's like if they're in the district or out of the district. So it's just like a check, so to speak. And there's a float.
It looks like the next Fed meeting Mr. J is saying is May 4th. So we're still, I guess, 3 weeks away from that. But this will be the last CPI number going into that meeting.
And what do you anticipate it being?
The CPI data?
Yeah.
Consensus is 5.2. I think we're going to have a real hard time hitting that. And it's a big gap, so I think you can never be certain, but I think it's extremely likely that it's going to be below 6, so it will continue to trend downward for another month. You would think it's going to be substantially below 6. The question is it going to be 5.2? Is it going to be 5.4, 5.5? Are people going to freak out if it's, 5.4 or 5.5? Or are they going to say, look, that's down 0.5%. That's one of the biggest moves down. And no, it wasn't consensus, so it's worse than expected, but still seriously trending in the right direction. There's a lot of wiggle room on this one. That's why I think no matter where, unless it's some shocking number. Let's put it this way. If this comes in at like 5.8 or 6, that would be very bad. And then I think it would have to start with a 4 for it to shock people. And if it started with a 4, that would be very good. But I don't expect that at all. I'm expecting it to come in somewhere between 5.2 and 5.5, I guess, if I had to say.
So what happens when that comes in, and now we know that oil is going to start creeping back up here? Probably by the end of next month, it should really, skyrocket. So then the CPI is even going to go higher again, even though that prices are starting to stabilize.
Oil looks like it's not going to help. There's no doubt about it. But our comparative numbers, if you look, we're so deep into this. Last year, we're comparing against 8.5s, 8.3s, 8.6, 9.1, and that's why the expectation is so good. Last year in these months was such a disaster that our comparatives should have a chance at really being a lot better. But, if oil spirals in the wrong direction, then that could put a whammy. If oil was to go to 120 in between now and, Not so much, it won't really affect this CPI number that we're getting, but the next one. So I think we're safe for the meantime, but we'll have to see where oil goes. Let's see where oil's going right now as we speak. So it's been hanging out at 80 bucks. So we'll see. I mean, usually peak demand for oil is in the summer, so we're just not even really quite yet to that season. Barry said, did Saylor agree to interview? So I have not asked him yet. I didn't correspond with anybody from Thursday evening until now. You know, I figured
He's a slacker.
No, it's the last thing you want to do is send an email when someone's not going to check their email at work for, 3 or 4 days. So I'd rather send all those out today, which I will do, and then that way it's more current correspondence, because Monday morning after a long weekend is, you guys know, you all have to go, I assume, or many of you go deal with it. That's the worst. So I gave everybody a break. I'll hit them up Monday afternoon and we'll see what happens.
Check your email. Check my email. And I didn't have to take a call yet, so.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Bootsy said, I'm not a financial expert, but today is green, and green means go. FOMO time.
Green means go.
I mean, on the 15-minute, you can see last night, Bitcoin took a nice jump from, it was trading right around where it closed on Thursday. Look, it hung around this all weekend. And then, last night we had a nice run up. We pulled a little back. Now we just pulled back up to match that. So 28.5, 28.6 seems to be, let's see what the actual top was. 28.547 on this chart. So, mid 28.5s. If we can make a run from there, obviously we're looking to break through this line. So let's move. Let's zoom out a little bit.
Moving in the right
you guys
direction.
can see we're weeks into this sideways trend, and this could continue. We moved. Really, it was Friday. It was Friday, March 23rd, that we had the big move up through this line of what had been resistance for months, like 8 months. So we broke through that on the 17th of March. And we've been, that we ended the day up above 27,000, and we've really been above that ever since. We've been above 27,000 and below 28.8 every single day in the middle. Now we are skewing more towards the top of this, and we've tested this line a lot of times, but the technical indicators, I think, seem to be saying that we're going to spend a little time going sideways. So, just my personal opinion, and obviously, that's, nobody knows the future. It's reading the tea leaves, basically. But I think we got a little bit of sideways activity, and then a breakout to the next level. That's what I believe. And by a little bit, I mean, it could be a week, it could be 10 days. We'll see. You don't know. Or there could be a catalyst somewhere in the middle. And we could have to revisit this line right here at 25.2 before we get there. So that's kind of the ranges that I'm thinking. Those are the high probability odds, in my opinion, that we may retest, but we stay above 25.2. We have run into massive resistance here. We may continue to bump into that, ultimately sometime in the next 2 weeks breaking through this to the upside. That's my current read on this, but obviously not financial advice, and anything can happen with Bitcoin. That's what seems to be happening, and this is a little bit of a repeat of what already happened in November and December. So I'm looking at that, as a guideline. Nate Doesn't want sideways. He wants up.
Wolf. Whoa.
Oh, let's see.
Did you
We're
see
getting...
that?
Oh, FV702, welcome to the stream, Wolf. What's Wolf doing right now? Hold on, let me get back to the big board. Whoa, it's on fire again.
Is it really?
Yes.
It's so funny because I totally was gonna buy it.
The things have kicked off significantly. This was all red a few, 20 minutes ago. And now we got some big moves. Riot's up 5%. Wolf's up 8%.
You know it's the stream.
Yeah, this stream's really pretty much with the start of the stream. The Bitcoin miners are on fire. Bitfarms is now at almost zero. At one point, it was down like 6% this morning. I think it's like 1/100th of a penny away from break even on the day. And I do think that my trading view lags a few minutes sometimes, so you guys might have an even more up-to-date number than this. It seems like sometimes this is 1 minute behind or 5 minutes behind, and there's no reason for that.
Another big day for Wolf and another bad day for Cleanspark.
Cleanspark's up 1.23%.
Sorry, some in my throat.
Green is green. Okay, so let me go to a chart to your point. Why? Let's just take a look at something. But first,
Wolf is up 8%. Cleanspark.
This message is brought to you by, please smash the like button. We're at 39 likes. We're trying to get to 100. It helps the stream in real time. So if you have a device where you're able to smash the like button, it will be much appreciated. Hello, Darren. Hello,
Wolf is
Brent.
printing money for me, Tom. Miguel, you're lucky. Because Cleanspark is sucking the life out of me. Just remember, what is it? That money is, what was it again? It's a zero-sum game. Some person has to lose it, and some person has to make it. So you guys are welcome.
I got an interesting article that talks about Bitcoin as a negative-sum game. So I'm going to look at that today, too, because...
Nate, I'm with you, too. I did the exact same thing. I'm the only person that lost money on Wolf.
Let's get a poll up, because we have no poll going. What's our first poll?
Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall.
All right.
Hey, I got a question. Here's the question. Can your guys paint my new house on May 5th and 6th? When do we pick paint and color carpets? These people are great.
Oh, that's the article I want to go to next. All right, I'm making a poll here. I sold my Wolf at 55 cents. Oh, sorry, Nate.
Post a poll, take a drink.
Crypto Golfer Tom posts a poll, take a drink. Yeah, I made such a long list of polls, but I haven't talked about any of this stuff yet. So let's start here. Since we were talking about this.
Oh, that's Cinco de Mayo. Oh my goodness, Greg. Those are like the worst day for Mexicans. This guy wants me to paint his house on the 5th and the 6th. You know what that means? No cervezo.
Yeah, the 5th is probably not a day a lot of work's going to get
done. Yeah, oh my god, I never even thought of that. I look forward to May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Sorry.
to... Oh, this is tricky.
How many square feet is it? Around 4,000 square feet. Just a small little home for him.
All right, you guys are going to have to read this one because I got numbers in here.
Oh, brother.
It's not that complicated. I'll just walk through it.
Yeah, Jeff, I'm with you. Maybe CleanSpark should put out another press release.
All right, CPI data on Wednesday. There's 4 choices. We got 6.0 or above. So 6.0 is where it came in last month. 5.2, which would be as expected. 5.3 to 5.5, which would be a little bit above as expected, but still in what I think is a healthy range. And then 5.6 to 5.9, which I think the market is not necessarily going to like.
Yeah, so you brought CleanSpark today, so now we will have to wait even more. Oh, great. I like CleanSpark. It's just they need to... What was the press release? Hang on, I couldn't read it. Put out another press release to update us on how they plan to use the dilution in the case no one knows.
We know how they plan to use
the
their...
payout bonuses, Jeff. We both know this.
False.
That's what the money's going to be for, to pay out bonuses.
News. That is false. They have been...
That is not false. That part of that money will be used to pay.
That's actually not true. Not even one single penny, not even one penny of that money will be used to pay out bonuses. None. So you can think of the dilution however you want. You can love it, you can hate it, but you should know what it is. They've made it crystal clear. They're getting to 16 exahash. The money that they're raising is to buy the machines and the infrastructure to get from where they are to 16 exahash. I mean, there's absolutely there's nobody that's confused on that. That's what they're doing. They've been incredibly specifically adamant about that.
Don't they have a cash flow statement someplace?
Yeah.
And they know exactly when they need the money. So they can say, hey, dump this CleanSpark stock.
No,
we're going to use it to raise money this month.
They don't know when they need it, and they're probably going to need it fairly evenly throughout the year because they're going to have to continuously. They can't just they're at 6.7, I think, right now, exahash. They've bought machines to get themselves to 9 exahash, but they can't just get from 9 to 16. So they're going to have to incrementally chip away at this. And also, they buy stuff on the spot market. They look for opportunities. So it's more, when does the opportunity present itself? They don't know right now, oh, you know what, on August 11th, we know that, this company is going to go bankrupt and sell this part of their plant and we'll buy it. They're going to take it as it comes. And it is an aggressive plan. Hello, Jeff. Welcome to the stream. It's an aggressive plan, and you can dislike the plan, but just know that's what the dilution is. I mean, nobody's been more clear than CleanSpark as to what it is they're doing. And
I think they should have a different name, though.
FV702, I am going to... I put that on the back burner, so that's an email I'm going to send out today to get CleanSpark back on the channel and talk to them. So we had planned that. I let it go, so I'm going to grab them and hopefully try to get them on this week.
Darren, they probably know something we don't know. 2025 options, so crazy. Right at the opening.
Jeff's saying, I'm fine with the dilution. I'm just exhausted with them talking about it. Yeah, so they put it right in the press release, right? I mean, they kind of lead with it, and
10% of the channel's profit. The channel's not going to have any profits, probably. How many members do they have?
Let's see. What do you think of the what? The clear. I don't.
Clear Value, they call it Clear Value Tax YouTube channel, crypto offering it for 10% of their channel's profits. Well, first of all, anytime you use the word profits, that's never good.
Right. That is actually that's an ambiguous term, and I don't know this channel, but if it's anything like our channel, they're not making any profits at all. And so I don't know. Maybe it's a really big channel that I don't know.
Oh, they got
about.
1.83 million. And I would have to
Well,
see.
then it's
I would
nothing
do.
like our channel.
Listen. If they were smart and they did actual revenue that came in, gave you 10% of the revenue that came in, I think it would be worth it. But if it's a profit number,
I'd rather see them do 1% of the revenue. First, I got to interject and say thank you, FV702, for a $5 super chat. He said, "Get it done." CEO of CleanSpark interview sponsored by Wolf. Well, I'm already on the hook to get that Wolf interview as well. So those are my next two, and I'm reaching out to, so that's the three I'm going to reach out to. I'm also going to reach out to Michael Saylor. I don't want to reach out to too many people at the same time. I'm skeptical, but I still think we should reach out to him and ask.
Isn't this crazy?
I've never even his job.
I've never even heard of CleanView Tax.
Raul said they made $500K last year. What is their channel about?
My mission is to help you obtain financial freedom. I will provide information so you can stay informed and make better choices.
How is there somebody that big we never heard of?
I never heard of him.
That's wild. Who is it?
CleanView.
Clearview?
Clearview, yeah.
Clearview Tax. Should I go there?
Yeah, why not? Who cares? He has a thing. I'm offering 10% of my YouTube channel revenue to my fans.
Revenue. Now, revenue is very clearly defined.
Yeah, that's much better.
10% of the revenue is a big deal.
That's cool.
Let's.
I want to share with you a few tips on how.
This is a paid promotion for a channel that's 10,000 times bigger than ours. So I'm sorry, not a paid promotion, a free promotion. Clear Value Tax, 1.78 million subscribers, 159 videos. Something's going on here. That's not really how this works.
Wow. These people are poking he's poking the SEC right now.
I'm going to dig into this channel a little bit more because and I'm not making any accusations of any kind. This guy might be the best guy ever, but you don't get 1.78 million subscribers on 159 videos. So maybe he deleted 1,000 videos.
Maybe, yeah.
So, that's possible, and maybe he's been doing this forever. I don't know, but I'm going to dig a little bit into this. But if he is, in fact, giving 10% of his revenue, which is the top line, then congratulations to him. And who's he giving it to?
The people that buy his blockchain, his token.
No.
He's doing a blockchain. I'm dead serious. I just watched the video.
Then he's not giving anything away.
He says he's using crowdfunding, so I don't know what that means.
All right, we got a lot of gray areas.
Maybe he needs to buy a house.
I'm gonna put a disclaimer out. I don't know anything about Clear Value Tax. It sounds like maybe they're doing something good, but I don't. I'm gonna find out though.
Makes us feel really small, Tom.
Yeah, I mean this channel's 1,000 times bigger than our channel, so I don't know. So buyer beware.
Would that be 100x?
I'm spreading it now on our channel, so I'm just saying
would
not
that
financial
would that be a
advice,
10x or 100x?
That's 100x. So please be careful. This might be a great thing. I don't know.
Please be careful. This might be a great thing.
Yep, I don't know. It sounds like the guy's doing something good, but who knows? You don't know. You gotta do. This is a perfect example of doing your due diligence. This guy is either doing something great or he's not. I don't know which one it is. So
I think we should. If he really has that many subs, we should change our channel to
1.78 million subs.
Let's just make a channel. Let's just
one
make a
of the
channel.
biggest financial channels on the entire internet, and I've never heard of him, so I don't know. I don't know how I'm that out of the loop on that, but I'm sure there's so many YouTube channels that, you know, who knows.
He only has 159 videos. That's insane.
This
3 months ago, he did how to avoid taxes legally in the U.S.
So he only has 54 million views, and he's got 1.78 million subscribers. So I'm just saying, all I'm going to say is, mathematically speaking, that would make this a very strange outlying channel. But it's certainly possible. So I don't know.
Oh, really?
And I don't know. You know what the other thing could be? Maybe when you delete your videos, it deletes the corresponding views.
All right.
So maybe he really has 1 billion views for all I know. And it's only showing 54 million, which are the 159 videos that he has
He
remaining.
says he has 54 million views.
Right, so that's not very many. For most channels that have 1.78 million subscribers have billions of views. So this is a low number, but like I said, maybe he deleted videos. I don't know. I don't want to get involved in speculation. It's not appropriate.
No FUD here.
No, I don't know. This guy, I don't. Maybe this guy's great. Check him out. He might be great, but please be careful and do your own due diligence. Not even when investing in a stock, but certainly just like listening to me or any YouTuber. You know, you got to take it all with a grain of salt, put it all together, and then you got to use your own judgment, right? There is no YouTuber that knows what the future holds in Bitcoin or anything else. So you guys, I know, particularly on our channel, we have, first of all, thank you, FV702, for the super chat again. Tom is 1,000x better. Still sponsored by Wolf. All right. Wolf's on fire today. And
I can't believe they're on fire again.
Everything's following behind them now. All of a sudden, this is a green day. Except for my buddies over at Bitfarms.
I think somebody's trying to keep them below $1.
Team Bitcoin said, thanks to Tom, I bought Wolf at 77 cents. It's now $1.08. Nice. Congratulations. And thanks to yourself, because you ultimately made the call and you bought it. So good job.
Team Bitcoin. Woohoo!
Team Bitcoin.
I have a question, Tom.
Yeah.
Are you going to the Bitcoin conference?
Absolutely. And that's the other thing I'm going to start doing is we got to, as I'm reaching out to all these people, maybe we can find a way. Last year was chaos at the Bitcoin conference, and we didn't, other than a few people, we didn't really get a chance to sit down and do our thing. So I'm going to try to be a little more organized this year. Last year was our first time to the Bitcoin conference, so it was
what was that name of that one guy that we met? He's kind of tall.
John Sally, kind of tall. He's like 6'8".
Man, I think he's like 7 foot tall.
I know half of your family's 7 feet tall, so to you that's not that tall.
That's
but
just an average size.
To the rest of the world, that's very tall.
So we were supposed to get together with him, and we never did.
I know. So
okay, Darren, you don't need to brag.
I'm writing the note down. John, call John Sally.
Don't sleep on Stronghold. Going back to $1. Wonder what does KGS mean? Eclipse. KGS.
That's part of his name.
I know, but maybe it means something. So
Stronghold going back to $1. I think I don't want to say with a universal blanket, but a lot of these have already gotten back to $1 from very low numbers. This is not typical. So when stocks hit 35 cents or 40 cents, it's extremely unusual for them to get back over $1. Most of the time, they have to do a reverse stock split on the way to going out of business. That's a generalization. Some of them come back and thrive, but I would argue that these stocks were so artificially deflated that this is the more likely scenario, whereas this is usually extremely unlikely, statistically speaking. In my mind, it's actually more likely than not for a lot of these Bitcoin miners that they're going to get back over $1, and 4 or 5 of them already have, Riot, sorry, not Riot. I'm going to show you one that's gone, everybody would have bet this company was done. At 30 cents, right? This is a very small market cap. This got down to like a $5 million company. Like a person could have gone and bought this company on December 30th. And if you would have said on December 30th, oh, by the way, on January 17th, oh, where's our dollar? Where'd we actually get back over $1? On January 23rd, less than 1 month later, they were over $1. And they've been over $1 every single day since then. So this is the kind of movement that you can get when these stocks get so ludicrously oversold. That's my opinion, although the market clearly agrees with me on this one since it's up, from December 30th. This is only 3 months ago. It's up 369%. So, I mean, not a bad first quarter. So, yeah, I expect, I know I get a lot of questions. Is Bitfarms going to get delisted? They're not even anywhere near their 180 days, and they're one good day away from being over $1. So I would expect them. They've gotten back over $1 2 different times. Who else is under $1? Gree? I don't know.
Shiba's
Shiba's
under $1.
I'm not making any. I don't know that. Yeah, but they have no SEC regulation to get back over $1.
Oh no, Doge
and their all-time best buddy. Darren said my wolf cost is 67 cents. Very nice.
That's he's picking on me.
Gorilla, thank you very much. Other YouTube channels might have millions of followers, but this channel provides better information, in my opinion. Thank you. I appreciate that.
We don't have too many haters either, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, there's a few stocks that are very hot button issues, so when we do videos on them, that's when we tend to get some haters. Inside the Bitcoin mining world, right now, those happen to be Marathon and CleanSpark, in my opinion. Those are the two, I'm not going to say controversial. They seem to evoke the most emotion out of people. Let's just say like that.
Wolf is going to get a letter first over Bitfarms, by the way.
Go
into compliance.
Yeah, they'll be back in. Let's look. Let's count the days. Oh, really? This is day 1?
Day 1.
So they got over, but then they
10
went
days
under.
to go.
We gotta add a honorary. All right, so that's just so we can keep track. I just put a dotted line at $1. They are ramped up way over that today. Let's see if they can make a run from there. I mean, this is another stock and this was a stock. This is really why I did these videos on Wolf, because this day, and if you guys rewatch my video, or if you haven't watched it, if you watched it, it was my opinion that when this stock plummeted on this day, the news that they got actually made them a significantly better company. So to me, this was a no-brainer that this was a knee-jerk reaction and it would self-correct, and it already has. So while that was not 100% guaranteed, because nothing is, these are the types of setups that to me are just so obvious, easy money.
This is funny.
What?
Elon Musk. Hey, Elon Musk, the BBC is not funded by the UK government. It is funded by the British public through a system known as the license fee. The BBC operations and editorial decision maker are entirely independent of the government. Oh, okay, buddy.
I believe that completely.
No, but if it's a system through known as a license fee, so someone's paying this license fee, which could be a tax, correct?
I mean, in substance, it sounds to me like a tax.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know
either.
anything about it.
And then he labeled the National Public Radio (NPR) as a U.S. state affiliated media.
Well, that is clearly true.
I know, but
They're
it's just funny.
funded
He's just
in
poking
large
the beer.
part
He's just
by-
poking everybody. He really knows how to get in front of the news, doesn't he?
I don't know why he does. I don't know why he always wants to poke the bear, is what you're saying. I don't know why he seems to be obsessed with that, and it hasn't really come back to haunt him yet. But he does. He is an agitator, man. I'll tell you what. There's no doubt about that.
Cinco de Mayo, yes.
Dev William Hardy, hello, welcome to the stream. He said,
This
good day.
is so funny.
Are
I
you-
can't believe. You gotta admit, it's kind of interesting to watch him.
To watch Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, yeah.
Yeah, he's a unique individual. He's living in his own world, and he's making
know,
his own
Sour.
rules, and we'll see if it so far it has worked extremely well for him.
Sour, I'm the opposite of the right picks on stocks. I'm just not, I just never have the patience. It's like, move, damn it.
Wolf.
Sorry.
Crypto Golfer said, wait until the bull run comes back and all the haters come out of the woodwork.
I'm going to tell you something, Tom. I'm a little shocked in that Bitcoin didn't drop a little bit more.
Bitcoin has held very, very strong over the last, really, all of 2023. And I do think now it's not unreasonable to say that we're back in a bull run. Now, I will say this one thing. I have one last line that I think we need to cross. And, we set up, all these lines have been sitting here for a year or longer. This line at 28.8 is an extremely significant line, in my opinion. If we can cross this line, stay above it, retest this, establish it as support, that would be the final, for me, in my opinion, that would be the final piece of information to say that this bull run is confirmed and the rally will continue, in my opinion. And we tend to get these rallies at this point in the cycle, and they're anywhere in the past from 100 to 350% moves up. So we're coming in, we're at 80 to 85% right now. So we may be halfway done with this run, but that still leaves a lot of room to the upside.
Gold is 1988.
Under 2,000.
We will never see gold under 2,000 again, Tom.
Never until right now.
Wow, that's insane. That's absolutely insane. You know that?
Well, see, Bitcoin's holding on better than gold. And I
Yeah,
got an
I think
article
so, too.
from I got another article I want to go to, but first I want to catch up. How many days until Stronghold gets over $1? That is a tough question. They're at 70 cents, so Bitcoin is going to have to take a nice run because their monthly operational reports, while I like what they're doing and I think they're moving in the right direction, they're not giving reports, and they're not conducting business the way they used to be. So you can't compare Bitcoin mined to Bitcoin mined. But I think they're an undervalued company in my opinion. So I think
Good old CleanSpark down 1%.
Are they down now? Yep, down
Yeah.
1%. Unbelievable. Let's go back
Probably
to the 15 minute.
they peaked. They came up a little bit and they dumped some shares.
Well, let's see what the market's doing. Let me refresh.
Oh my goodness! Look at that.
So the Nasdaq's down 0.8, which is actually, you can see they're all a little bit up from their lows on the day. And Bitcoin is still, I mean, we got one 15-minute candle going right here, but it's still pretty near its highs on the day. So I'm not sure why the momentum shift. Wolf still seems to be doing his thing, although let me know if this is not. I got to check my other list to make sure these are. Let's see. All right, I'm just going to keep that open. Yeah, my other thing is saying Wolf's up 6.61%, so that's probably more accurate. But still, either way, Bitcoin to 32,000. Says, I think Karaoke Asia. In extremely fancy. I don't know how this person's good at YouTube. I don't know how they were able to make their name like that. That's over my head. Bitcoin to 32,000. I hope you're right. I'm in for that.
Wow, look at that. 1.9 million people searched for Bitcoin on Friday.
On Friday?
Yeah.
I wonder what the normal what's their normal number? Is that
I don't know. Donald Trump was number 2 at 1.5. Breaking news was 1.4. Elvis Presley was 1.3. Disney World was 1.2. Spider-Man.
Was there some Elvis Presley related event that
I
I'm
don't
not
know,
aware
maybe.
of? How is he one of the?
Guess what? The number top 10 was child support.
Well, there you go. Bitcoin, child support, Elvis.
Wow,
these are what people care about on what is this, Google?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It looks like that's for the month.
Darren's saying, Tom, getting over the 21-week average is critical. Might not happen for a couple months. So that's definitely one of the numbers to take a look at, the 21-week average. That has been a big trend indicator. So we got over the 200-week moving average, which to me was a long-term critical line of support and resistance. But I know that 21-week is another one that we should keep our eye on.
I'm getting hungry.
It's getting about that time.
What do you mean? I'm gonna have some turkey.
His Honor said 28,800 could. I just lost it. Could be reached in seconds from now with one or two whales jumping in. So yeah, I mean we are knocking on the door of 28.8, and as you can see, I mean that's this line. We've candlewicked above it on March 22nd. We candlewicked up to it on March 23rd. We got way above it. We got to 29,190 on March 30th. So, you know, that was less than 2 weeks ago. And then on April 5th, we got right here, I'm calling it 28.8. We got to, according to this chart, $28,799.99. So our line's at 28.8. So, you know, we got there again on April 5th. We had a long weekend, and it looks like we've got some momentum. On the one-day time frame, we got 3 green candles in a row. But this is what I've been looking at, and this is just my own personal line, which I drew. I feel like as long as we can hold above this line, and you can see we retested it and retested it again. This is the RSI on the one-day time frame. Then I think we're we're hanging out, we're consolidating, getting ready to make a move up, in my opinion. If we dip below this line, then I think we got to test this line. If we dip below this line, then we could be all the way for a reset, which I think would take us down to that $25,000 200 mark. That's how I'm viewing this, but this is very neutral stuff here. Like this is not some super encouraging. And then, you know, here's the MACD on the 1-day time frame. You can see we're going through the cycle. It seems like it's turning around. The red has turned into pink or whatever you want to call it, and so, you know, who knows? Maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 days from now, we get a bullish crossover on the 1-day time frame. And that did. The last time that happened was on March 13th, and we did get a nice run up when that happened. So that could be the cycle. That's why I'm saying, I don't know. Is this going to take 3 days, 7 days, 10 days? But at some point when this turns around, I'm thinking we'll push over that 28.8 line. And his honor is right. It could happen at any time. It could happen 5 minutes from now or 5 days from now.
5 weeks from now?
Not impossible. Not impossible, because if you go back to the 1 week or the 1 day, I mean, this was the FTX crash. That was on November 9th. So, in my opinion, from November 9th all the way until January 7th, we were fairly sideways. Yeah, we dipped a little below for a while. We went a little above for a while, but you'll see this line at 16,875. I mean, we were on one side or the other of this line for 2 full months. So we can go side. Now, the Bollinger Bands were squeezed to an all-time epic level at that point, and that's starting to happen again right now. Not to this extent. This was legendary.
So what are these Bollinger Bands you keep talking about?
What exactly would you say? It's just a simple mathematical equation. I'll bring them up, and the big thing about the Bollinger Bands is all they tell you, allegedly, they are an indicator that a big move is going to happen. So, you know, you got to look at the rest of the charts to try to figure out which, you know, in which direction is that move. So you can see, like, you see how wide this is. Essentially what this is I think it's the 20-day moving average. And these lines are 2 standard deviations above the 20-day moving average and 2 standard deviations below the 20-day moving average. So when you get, is this going to leave it?
Wow.
Let me see.
Whoa.
So see, I'm going to take all my lines off there. You can see when you look at what's just happening right now. We're getting a squeeze right now. Now, this could take a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. But, I mean, look, this was a gigantic squeeze. And look at how this bottlenecked right here. I mean, this was the most blatant sign that there was a move coming. So
it never is outside of this, ever?
No, it can be outside of 2 standard deviations. It's very rare. I mean, 2 standard deviations in either direction account for the majority of all activity, you know, just statistically speaking, across anything, no matter what you're doing. So, but if you look, we did get back. This was the FTX day. So on the 8th and the 9th, on the 9th, you can see we closed what was probably more like 3 standard deviations below the 20-day moving average. So that was a big outlying event. It corrected itself in 1 day. It got back inside of the 2 standard deviations. But you can see essentially all this is saying, when the Bollinger Bands get this small, what it's saying is there's been a massive amount of sideways activity. So it's about to break one way or the other. Think of it, you can think of it that simply. Who cares about all the rest of the math? These squeeze when there's an extended period of sideways activity. And we're getting, you know, we just starting here, which was April 5th. So from April 5th until now, these are clearly squeezing. And so at some point, sooner or later, we're going to get a move to the upside or the downside. I think it's to the upside.
How many times has it gone above the bands?
So we can look right here on March 17th. This closed above 2 standard deviations because that line is right here. So, it closed considerably above. And that makes sense because you can see this was a violent move up over the course of several days. So it got up enough that it got outside of the 2 standard deviations. There's other times that happened. Now, we've been in a bear market for a long, long time. So most of what you're going to see is, times like this where this candle wicked. Actually, this opened and closed outside of the Bollinger Bands. So that's a pretty rare day. And that happened to be March 10th. And that was a low. And, we ran up from that day. So that's enough of those. But my point is, this is just another thing that's showing me that, yes, we are going sideways. There may be more sideways to come, but we're definitely seem to be squeezing. And, something's got to give. All right, so in the moment here, we got a couple of 15-minute red candles going. We got to we got to get a new poll up.
Oh, what happened with that poll?
Okay, so, oh, wow. All right, so this is actually good news, I think. If I join 2 of these together, because they're almost tied, 5.2 as expected is at 40%. 5.3 to 5.5 is at 41%. So from 5.2 to 5.5, in my opinion, that is the safety zone. That's within acceptable limits, and the market's going to be just fine. So we have 81% of the people that think that's the case. We got 14% that think it's going to be a bad number and come in over 6. We got...
The only reason, do I think that's where it actually is? Yes. But do I think it's going to come in at that? No.
Well, that's the key. What's the number they're going to put on the page?
Right.
Nothing else matters. So now we are tied 41 to 41. I'm going to end that poll with the vast majority of people thinking we're going to pretty much get near our expected mark of 5.2%, which is a dramatic decrease. So I think this is an optimistic crowd.
Do you think that could actually be good for the market and we could have a little bit of a run?
Yeah, I think, to me, that's the range that I think is healthy. If we're anywhere 5.5 or under, 5.5 even might be a little bit, I'm not sure, but anything under that, to me, even if it doesn't reach expectations of 5.2, is still 5.4 means we're 0.6% down. That's one of the bigger moves to the downside that we've had. So I just don't think the market's going to be disappointed in that, even though the expectation is 5.2. And it's not usually wrong by that much. Sometimes it's off by 0.1, 0.2, 0.3%. We haven't had misses that are much larger than that from consensus. So in all likelihood, this poll is correct. FV702 said, I need a wolf sweater. Just saying. We need wolf merch. Ricky saying, might buy more Bitfarms. Yeah, Bitfarms is having a negative reaction to the day today. It's back. It got up almost to 0, and now it's back down 4%. Is that the worst? Core Scientific's down 7.6%. And then Bitfarms is the second lowest. Gree's down 3%. DigiHost is down 3.8%. But again, DigiHost is up 300 and whatever percent so far this year. So hard to judge it on any one day. Barry said Bollinger Bands are a standard deviation either way. You're saying it's one standard deviation either way? Not 2? I'll have to look that up. Yeah, maybe it's 1 either way, which is 2 in total. But that would be a very tight range. 1 standard deviation does not account for the majority of the activity on a standard bell curve. Bollinger Bands are envelopes plotted at a standard deviation level above and below a simple. So it is one standard deviation. So that's a total of 2 standard deviations, 1 to the upside, 1 to the downside. So that's a tight range. Right, because so that's really only 68%. You can see here's one standard deviation in either direction on a standard bell curve. That's 68% of the activity. But yet it's on the Bollinger Bands, it's much, much more than that. It's 90-something% of the activity. So, I'll have to look into that more. So thanks to Barry for pointing that out. LMFA. I've seen that before, and I've seen it recommended before, and I've looked at it. I can't remember why I chose not to do something on that. It may be that it is small, or it may be that it's not a direct play. I can check that out. We're at 58 likes. If anybody can smash the like button, we're falling way short. So I'm going to do a poll. What do we think about? All right, let me do the poll. So on Tuesdays, we have a members-only live stream. So my new poll question to you guys is, what's anybody interested in? A daily live stream? Either yes or no, that's too much. So what do you guys think? I know the one thing is, as I do these impromptu live streams, some people get frustrated because it's not on a schedule and they miss it. And, you know, it's like, when are you doing your live stream? So if people want more live streams, then maybe I'll make a more regular schedule to follow. Essentially, what we've been trying to do is say if a live stream gets either, 3 new members joining up or $15 or more in super chats, then that was a positive live stream and it paid for itself, and then we would do another one. So that's been our policy, but I'm interested to see if you guys want a daily live stream. I like the live stream format.
Bing, 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 bing.
So, and then if we do, we'll have to figure out what time you guys prefer. I like it because there's a lot more flexibility to talk about things in real time, and there's a lot of news that comes at us. I've got 5 or 6 different things I wanted to chat about that we haven't even gotten to yet on this live stream. Yeah, we're at 64 likes. We're going to struggle to get to 100.
That's crazy. If you think about it, there is so much that goes on, isn't there?
Every day. I mean, there's so much
I
stuff.
I didn't even know there was a movie about Elvis Presley. Because I'm all shook up.
Now that is not today's news. That movie came out like 6 months ago.
Oh, really? I didn't even know. Who is this Elvis Presley person you speak of?
Mocha Nut saying, what about LMFA? Oh, I know. I think of this. I'm sorry. I think of the same thing every time I see that.
What are you talking about?
Here, we'll go to the stock ticker. This is one I get a lot of requests on, but for some reason I haven't done anything on it yet, which tells me that it's either super small, $10 million. So that is super small. Now, we do have some stocks on here.
I guess Tom didn't even look at the super chat.
Oh. Mocha Nut, $15 super chat. Thank you very much. Much appreciation. $15 for the day. You guys have helped me immensely. Thank you for everything that you do. Well, thank you for the super chat, and thanks for saying so. And we appreciate you. And Mocha Nut is a member, so appreciate all the people who have joined to become members. And thanks so much for the super chat. So Mocha Nut just got us. Oh, that's the little thing that they play. So that gets us to our daily. So thanks to both Mocha Nut and FV702 for the super chat so far today. Much appreciated. I'm glad you guys appreciate the channel and find some value in it. And that's what we're here for. Plus to have fun and make money, theoretically. Gorilla's saying middle of the day would be the perfect time. Brent is saying the S&P is not a normal distribution curve, so the vast majority of moves are within 1 and 2 standard deviations. So that's good info, Brent. I'm going to follow up on that because it seems like that these investments don't seem to follow the standard bell curve, according to what we just looked at very quickly. But I have not spent a lot of time looking into that, so I will. Yes, a regular schedule would be best, said His Honor. Ricky said yes, but don't burn yourself out. Also might run out of things to talk about if no major news happens. Maybe every other day. I mean, that would be the one thing is, I mean, usually there's so much going on, but all of it isn't 100% Bitcoin. So, but the thing is, I like to talk about everything because even if you're invested in Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies or the Bitcoin miners, all these things that affect, all these macro things affect Bitcoin. And, you know, as a function of that, the Bitcoin miners. So I like to, you know, I think it's important to stay up to date on all the things that are going on in the market, not just this channel. Definitely, as far as videos goes, we hyper focus on the Bitcoin miners, and I'm okay with that. And obviously, that's a big part of what we'll always do. But I think broadening the conversation is going to help us all make better investing decisions. And that's a lot what the membership is about as well. I'm going to put a link. If you want to become a member, you can join. It's $5 a month. And in the membership, we have a members-only Discord where we have a little bit of what I would say an elevated conversation. And I'm in there every day. So I think George is in there every day. George is also sometimes in the main Discord, which is free to everybody. But we have a members-only live stream once a week, Tuesday after the market closes as well, where the members pick a stock. And this is where having a diverse group of members is fantastic because most of all of you, in addition to potentially being interested in the Bitcoin miners, you have other sectors, other industries that you bring a lot of knowledge in. So we get a lot of fantastic recommendations, and then I'll go do a deep dive on one of those once a week. So that has helped me. So hopefully it's helping all the members. So thanks again to all the existing members. Wolf is wolfing, said Scott. Let's go back and check. Is it really at 7, or is my thing just stuck at 7 saying that? Let me check my other. Yeah, I'm showing it at +6. +6, +7. Either way, Wolf is the leader on the day again today. So that is a definite trend, and it's making up for lost ground. Mokonut said, I agree. Bitcoin is a macro conversation completely. I like what you're doing with the channel. It's also similar to what Bitcoin did podcast with Peter McCormick. Okay. I don't know. That's probably a podcast or maybe also a YouTuber. I still don't know the difference. I guess is YouTube a podcast, or is podcast like gotta be on Spotify or something? Or
well, podcast is an actual. It's an actual like name.
That's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. Yeah.
So we don't do that.
No, we don't do that. It's
We-
kind of nice though, like to do. I don't know. There are a lot of nutty podcasts out there. You never like go on a long trip. You throw in a podcast and listen to somebody. Like when I had to, like when I was learning to fly, you could listen to, you know, how to pass the FAA test.
Right. So I guess we're not.
See, Seth, does George have the availability to do a daily live stream?
Seth knows the
I
right
guess
question.
yeah. That is the $1 million question.
Even if George,
I'm buying a new company. I'm buying another company. We close on it in another couple of weeks. Because of what I'm doing, Seth.
That's a partial answer to your question right there. George usually finds a way to get on a part of the stream, even if he's not there from start to finish. So, but it is a more difficult commitment for George for sure, because he's got a lot of other plates spinning, if you will.
I'm spinning the plate, Seth. My biggest problem is my wife. She gets mad.
You gotta clarify that a little. I don't think you could just leave that open-ended statement.
Back. She can't hear me. Did you hear what I just said? She goes, I heard you. What does she get mad at? She doesn't care. You're not getting mad at nothing. What? Don't beat me on stream. I told you not to do that.
All right, somebody asked for a link to the Discord, so I'm going to provide a link to our free Discord in the chat. So let me know if that works. That should be a link to our free Discord, and then if you are a member, there's a membership Discord. I will tell you, we don't do a lot of censoring and editing, so the conversation can go into weird places, and sometimes people get a little not so nice with each other. So you got to have some thick skin in the main.
What does that mean?
What does what mean?
The conversation gets not so nice.
I think everybody understands what I mean by the conversation gets not so nice. There's first of all, in the free, there's a lot of people who are just straight up trolls. That's what they're doing, and you know that's across the whole internet. That's just not just our Discord. So they're there to piss people off, and you know a lot of times people will engage with them and get into these big long arguments, if you will, which to me are not productive. If you know somebody's just trolling you anyway, just don't let them. That's my free life advice. I mean, you guys know how the internet is. It's filled up with people with various different intentions. Some good, some not so good.
I will not say what I want to say, but yes, you're right.
Fable, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Greetings, George and Tom. Looks like Bitcoin is ready to roll. I hope you're right.
I bet you it is, because I thought it would go down because of the full moon.
Carmack, the artist, said George is hilarious.
Thank you. I'm here all day, people. I have a speech impediment.
But you didn't let that get in the way.
You know, that's the other thing. That's why I never drank. Does that make sense?
You never drank because you didn't need to drink. You're enough to handle stone cold sober.
Stone Cold Stephen Austin. Is that his name?
Most Discords are bots. So yeah, and I don't know. I mean,
we're not smart enough to know how to do that.
I don't know. Like I don't get the whole bot thing. I know the YouTube channel gets attacked with bots that they pretend to be me and blah blah blah. So word to everybody, as I've always said, and as I think all you guys know, I'm not. If you get some weird message from someone that shows my profile picture, that's not me. I'm never going to be saying, "Hey, send money here or that." You'll see the official links, right? If you join our membership.
What if it's a lady? But ladies, that
So,
could be me.
Fortunately or unfortunately, we actually don't have any ladies that watch the
There was
channel
just
according to
somebody
our
on.
statistics.
There was a lady on just a second ago.
It fluctuates between 1 and 3% over the course of the channel's history. 1 to 3% of our audience is
Darren Wolf
identifies
Wolf
as
still...
female.
Dude, Wolf is back up to 8 and 11. Oh my god.
Scapegoat, there is a I got to get you a link. There's a little YouTube video that shows you how to connect into the members only Discord. So I don't know if that's in the members only section. I'll have to figure that out and put that link up. But it shows you how to connect so that you get into that. Darren says, Wolf.
You know what I will really say? What's great is that, and I mean this, is that what makes our channel good is the people that subscribe to it. We just highlight the stuff that you guys are doing. And I mean, like, who was it? Was it Jeff about the supermarkets?
Yeah, Jeff nailed the supermarkets.
Yeah, I mean,
a year in advance.
Yeah.
And it was pretty much inside of what was a bear market across the board. Jeff's supermarket play was, for us on our little channel here, that was the play of the year for 2022.
Yeah.
Wolf's now up over 8% on the day, leading the way big time.
So what else did you want to talk about, Tom?
I just had a few articles I thought were interesting. Let's take a look. Okay, let's talk FUD. The economy would be better off without Bitcoin, as it's a negative sum. Remember, you always call it a zero-sum game, George? Well, this individual is calling it a negative sum investment that comes at a social cost, economist says, and that economist is Dieter Wormuth. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. And that's the Wormuth Asset Management. So before I even look at the rest of this article, well, first let's look at it. So here's the bullet points. So this was today. Bitcoin is a wasteful asset that doesn't add to global welfare, Dieter Wormuth, economist and partner at Wormuth Asset Management, wrote in a recent note. He said that Bitcoin market is highly centralized and primarily benefits early investors and miners. The tokens fail as currency given their high volatility and lack of real-world use, according to Wormuth. And he basically goes on to say how, Bitcoin is a part of what's wrong with the world today. So I can get into this because his points of view. Before I get into this, let me show you what these guys do. Nope, that's not it. Where'd you go? Okay, the Wormuth Asset Management, creating value in the green industrial revolution. So, to put it in context, this is their perspective. They have green what they call green funds as a part of the green industrial revolution. So, of course, not surprisingly, they object to Bitcoin's very existence. So, I mean, to me, on the face of this, he says Bitcoin market is highly centralized. So that's my next poll. Let's end this poll. All right, so we got 70% saying, 71% saying, yes, do a daily live stream. 29% saying, maybe that's too much. So maybe we'll try and come up with a schedule that puts that in mind and adds some live streams. So thank you. I appreciate everybody who participated in the poll. Let's see. Despite calls from crypto enthusiasts to hodl, letting go of Bitcoin may be good for the world's prosperity, at least according to one economist. That's because the cryptocurrency is a wasteful investment that takes funds away from general economic growth. Wrote in a note today. Not only does the speculative asset not contribute to broader welfare, it creates social inequities and allows for money laundering. Here we go. We're going to get the whole litany of FUD right here in one sentence. It allows for money laundering, tax evasion, climate deterioration. So, as you guys know, that in a nutshell is the FUD argument around Bitcoin. Now, we could spend 100 hours dissecting that, and we don't have that kind of time at the moment. But I'm just going to ask in general, who agrees with this and who disagrees?
Well, didn't you say to me like buying Bitcoin off exchange is like dirty Bitcoin?
That's not what I say. That is what some people say. That it's potentially dirty Bitcoin, is potentially, involved in. But again, is that reality or is that FUD? Because guess what? Take a look at cash. You think that the gangs on the street, so to speak, or the drug dealers are dealing in Bitcoin? Probably not. It's probably 90-something% cash transactions. And maybe that's down from what used to be 99.9% or 100% cash transactions. But, everything, to me, everything you can point at Bitcoin and say, with the tax evasion and the money laundering, all also really can be done through cash and many other vehicles. If people have bad intentions, then they're going to do bad things. The climate change issue, that's another argument all to its own. So, that's a very complex argument, in my opinion. They try to boil it down to some simple stuff that I believe is FUD. So everybody has their own opinion on that. But essentially, I want to read the part where he basically says here, it's a negative sum asset. Despite the elements outlined above, Bitcoin generates a great deal of financial liquidity without any proof that it contributes to productivity growth. Back in November, hold on, let me find then he's comparing it to Lehman, which is a totally ridiculous comparison. Because
I'm laughing at the comments.
Oh,
You get there eventually.
Has everybody had enough of my rant?
No.
Okay, so, blockchain in return for newly minted coins, so it's energy intensive, a major climate killer, quote.
It's funny that they don't really understand.
And then I'm trying to find the part they go on to say, or maybe that was, I got another. So here's another one. This is all today. So this is what I'm saying. There's no end to the news. Climate change and poverty pose a challenge to the World Bank. So essentially, this article is talking about, I am subscribed to this, but I'm not logged in on this computer, so I'll just have to give you the highlights. Basically, the World Bank has to choose between, creating liquidity and loans and money for the poor, or getting that money over to climate change. It's, there's your zero-sum game, George. They only have so much money, right, so they can't do both. So they're shifting a lot of money from what used to be, trying to prevent poverty around the world to, and there's big pressure to switching it over to things that are quote-unquote, climate friendly. Brent, thank you for the super chat. Brent said, let's do another asymmetric play like, for instance, surprisingly, uranium. Study of fat tail risk, 2008. S&P moves are within one standard deviation 82% of the time. Thank you. That is, see? I learned something new. That's what I love about the members, and that's why we do live streams and have subscribers and members. I did not know that. That's wild. That's wild that 82% of the S&P is within one standard deviation. I wonder if that's going to hold up over time. I wonder if the NASDAQ is the same or if that has a higher level of volatility. But that's very interesting. Thank you for that. And I will look at the, quote, study of fat tail risk. I got to write that down, though, because I will not remember that. So there you go. We've all learned something new today. Let's see. Scott Richardson said, not in your country. Sorry for generalizing, but I don't know what he said earlier. Oh, that's why, George, you said this. Says there's one lady here. Well, welcome.
Yeah, I know. That's why I've been laughing.
Welcome. Thank you for being a representative. We're now a more inclusive group. I don't understand why that's our statistics. I don't feel like our channel is in any way, shape, or form geared towards male versus female. So I don't know why
it really is sad.
It's got to be YouTube's fault because, you know, the people that watch this are a function of the fact that of who does YouTube show this to. So they're not showing it to women. So women aren't watching it. So sorry, YouTube, but that's on you. Just getting back to the 15 minutes to see what's what.
I think they're trying to hold women down.
I don't know. I can't explain it. I think it's bizarre that we're so monumentally skewed towards
holding
male
women
versus
down.
female.
You think I'm joking?
No. Gorilla said Bitcoin has been banking unbanked people in El Salvador. The social inequity argument is hilarious. So that's I agree with that. And then we have, so I'm not even going to poll this because I'm not going to give them the satisfaction. This is Cosmic Contrarian said this is the worst kind of FUD, complete nonsense. Seth said Lightning Network changes everything. Yeah, see, it's a stale, old stale argument. It never stood up in the first place, and now with all the innovation that's come over the last few years, you know, it becomes less true every single day, in my opinion. So I think that is just, but you can see this is the hurdles that Bitcoin has to jump over. There's people out there, right? There's articles like this, which is basically a gigantic article about how Bitcoin is bad. And I can't find the part, but it goes on to say, like, really all Bitcoin does is help the early adopters and the Bitcoin miners. Everybody else loses all their money, effectively, is what this is saying. And we know that's not true because the Bitcoin miners got destroyed in the crypto winter. And most of them had to sell all their Bitcoin. So that is verifiably incorrect. And, you know, it's still very early, in my opinion. We're still very early right now. So they're saying, oh, it helps early adopters. I think if you buy some Bitcoin today, you're an early adopter. Right? This
Have you seen
almost
that
a
article?
brand new asset class.
Have you seen that article about Steve Jobs and inventing Bitcoin?
Well, I did not. I saw a bunch of headlines about that, and I think it's as a function of the fact that the white paper was on the Max. So
yeah,
one
something
thing
like the 2009 or something like that, but that's interesting though because the last time there was a post was in April 2011, and he died in like October of 2011 or something like that.
Oh, I got you. Last time there was what, like what?
A post
Activity
last
in that
time.
wallet.
No. Last time he posts, he had. You would think you'd be able to figure that out too. The last time that he posted on a
Some social media.
Some type of board. You would think they would be able to figure that out.
But do they even know? How do they know that post is actually him? I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
I'm nothing, and there's 10 people a day pretending to be me. So God knows how many people are pretending to be.
That's the best form of flattery, isn't it?
Not in this instance. Crypto golfer, pretty unbelievable that women wouldn't turn in to watch two. I can't even finish the rest of that.
What did he say?
to watch two hot guys like Tom and George. Well, thank you, crypto golfer.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Darren's saying it's the fact that the vast majority of retail traders are male. So maybe that's true. I didn't really realize it was to that scale, but I don't know. Mr. J said, honestly, you both are easy to listen to and you cover practical and logical topics. This is my top 5 spots. This channel will continue to grow more and more. Thank you very much, Mr. J. Much appreciated. So Bitcoin did just run up to a new high on the day. It's a little bit off of that, but we're over 28.6. Even Bitfarms is now at 0. That's my litmus test. Like, Bitfarms has been struggling mightily. CleanSpark and Bitfarms. CleanSpark still seems like it's in the green. Gotta go to my backup.
You know what I think is awesome about Bitcoin?
What?
Is that if somebody would have believed in it way back when, anybody could have done it and got it. It doesn't matter what social class you were in.
That's right. Their argument that it only, the argument about early adopters, yes, certainly. Those people that bought it for $1, if they've still held on to it since then, they have benefited massively. And there's a large percent that's been held on to for a long time. Having said that, I was still, the converse argument is, who's to say this is still not very early in the process? I mean, we're what? 11, 12, 13 years into an asset class? That's nothing. So, we've got predictions every day about Bitcoin 250,000, 500,000, a million, more than a million. And that doesn't mean, this year. Those are 5-year projections, 10-year projections, 20-year projections. But, if you want to talk about being an early adopter, yeah, if you buy today, in 20 years from now, Bitcoin's $1 million, then guess what? You won too. And anybody can buy Bitcoin. It's extremely easily accessible to the whole world, and you can buy it in increments. You can buy, I guess a Satoshi is one millionth of one Bitcoin. I don't know if that's the smallest increment or if there's something even smaller than that, but effectively, if you have 1 penny, you can invest it in Bitcoin. So there's no barrier to entry. And I would argue that we're still in the early adoption phases, as could be verified by the fact that we still don't even have crypto regulations. It's still, most people don't even know. Most people have never bought or sold a Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency. I mean, by all accounts, this is still very early stages of the crypto universe. Fable said, let's welcome all the ladies. All are welcome.
Ladies.
All are welcome to the channel.
I think what you need to do, Tom, is do a video where you how they, what is those things called,
I don't know where this is going.
And just talk about yourself, Tom. Relate to people.
I don't. I'll put that in the suggestion box.
Maybe I should do it for you, Tom.
Maybe you should do it for you. I mean,
no, yeah, right.
Just for the channel. Listen, you got to do things for the channel, man.
Yeah.
We got a potential breakout going here. I just want to point out we are at our high for the day on Bitcoin right now. So 28,700 as I speak. So we're inching towards that 28.8. Are we going to make a run at this today? Is that
Mac, you ready to go to
possible?
lunch? Okay. I'm going to leave, guys.
All right,
Holla.
George. Thanks for joining us on the lunchtime
Thanks,
live
everybody, for
stream.
watching. Had fun, like always.
All right, we'll see you later, George.
See you later, alligator.
All right, thank you to George. He's going to lunch as Bitcoin's on the run, 28,715. So we have to go back to April 5th was the last time we were here. So pretty much Wednesday, Thursday, over the long weekend, we were hanging out a little bit lower than this, and we've taken a step back up to test this line again. I mean, you could see on the 4 hour, we've tested this. My mouse disappeared. What? Once, twice, 3, 4. I'll count these as the same even. 5. And, you know, now we're almost there right here. So, I mean, this is how you break through something. We just keep pounding on it. And, you know, like I said, I don't know when it's going to break. We did look at the Bollinger Bands squeezing. So, you know, I think that's out there at some point. Is it right now? Is it this live stream? I don't know. Let me catch up in the 30K today. Asks Eric. Good question. Austin said Wolf and Iris Energy, stock ticker IREN, my favorite plays right now. So how's Iris doing today? Because they're ramping up. There's 3 or 4 companies that are, you know, they came in, there were this, I'm going to call them the second wave or the third wave, whatever you want to call it. Iris Energy, TerraWolf, Cypher, you know, we're a few steps behind, but they're gearing up big time right now. So those are definitely the movers on my monthly chart. So I'm only waiting for Hive Blockchain to put out their March monthly operational report, and then I will do my video comparing everybody's performance in March. So they're the last holdout. Let's see. Darren said Elon Musk just committed $1.1 trillion to go into hydro. That sounds like a lot of money. I like hydro. That's something that I have followed on this channel for a while. I haven't done any videos on it in a bit. We've been hyper focused on all things Bitcoin, and then obviously cryptocurrency situations, FTX, the banks collapsing. So that's going to be my last poll. That's what I want to do. So I'm curious to see where you guys are at, because this, I think, is one of the, and we are now broken out. We are at 28,922. We are now above 28.8. Let's see. We've been here. We've candlewicked above this a bunch of times. Let's see if this is the time that we can hold above this. Darren said, boom, 28. There's power behind this pump. Organic auto. Tobias said, hi, first time here. I like your videos. Any news for this uptrend in Bitcoin? So thank you, Tobias, for joining us. MicroStrategy is getting near 300, so that's running. We're going to get a MicroStrategy video from me this week. Rick2416 said, that's the last time Bitcoin will be below 28,000. We're almost at 29,000. Did we break it in the middle? Oh, well, according to this TradingView chart, we got to exactly $29,000.00. So I guess depending on what chart you look at, we just hit that. We need 30K. As soon as George goes off, it pumps. WTF. That was from Darren. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. What do I have? What's going on? Why won't it let me create this poll? Okay, too many characters. All right, sorry about that. I'm putting up a poll. This is not related to the fact that Bitcoin is pumping right now and holding strong above this 28,800 line. This is the 4-hour. Let me go to the 15-minute and see. Oh, see, this looks so much better on the 15-minute. It's like it's on fire. Best live stream ever. So I just put up a poll because, you know, there's kind of a lull in this conversation. But what's next for the banks? Because I've been calling this a banking situation, not a banking crisis. But is it? What's next? So my choices are what's next for the banks? The situation gets worse, more bank failures, or we've seen the worst. So we've no more bank failures, and we've turned the corner. Because I have to tell you, I do believe, you want to talk about correlations to Bitcoin, if this banking situation gets worse, in my opinion, that is going to continue to drive. It's one of the underlying factors that kickstarted this current phase of the rally that we've been in. And, you know, so to an extent, believe it or not, Bitcoin is the strangest of assets because it's considered a risk-on asset, yet as the banks failed, it was unquestionably a flight to safety, you know, if for no other reason than perhaps diversity, having your money somewhere other than the bank. So, you know, Bitcoin's at a wild time right now. Martin said we broke 29K. Organic, we broke it again. So, Christopher, I am on TradingView. You want to know what site do you watch to have that close to real-time feedback? So, I'm looking at Bitcoin on the 15-minute time frame on TradingView at tradingview.com. We have no affiliation to TradingView. FYI. So, we're still in this same 15-minute candle. This has gone, it is funny. I mean, this was almost, coincidentally, this was almost simultaneous with George signing off. He might not even know. Click, oh, want me to go to the 1 minute? Oh, we're really going to get, now we're getting super, I usually, while we're sitting here, this is fascinating. I try to look at the 15-minute just so I don't get so high, because I could look at the 1 minute all day long. But let's see. Let's see if the trend continues. Cosmic Contrarian said, no way the banking issues are over. And it looks like, so far, the poll agrees with you. Oh, Darren's on Weeble on the 10-second. That's anything under 15 and I start to go crazy. But I don't mind watching the 1 as we're running here. And clearly, I mean, this is a breakout. I'm just going to zoom out here for a second to see, have we gotten above? So our basically 10 or 11 month high is 29,190, and that was set on March 29th. So we're at 29,181 right now. I mean, we are about to go. And now we just dropped a little. We're knocking on the door of getting to our all-time high in this run. That goes all the way back to, if I go here, that goes all the way back to really June 11th, 2022. So it's now April 2023. We haven't really closed a candle above this since June of 2022. So potentially, all right, we got a little red, but I'm not gonna freak out minute to minute. Let's see. Life said, at this stage, it does feel like we have some more setback in formal companies that could impact price of Bitcoin or temporary periods, but the halving will happen, and it's far larger force. So that's right. Let's not forget also, we're approximately 1 year from the halving now. We are in April of 2023, and that's going to be in April of 2024. So, you know, that's getting close. Oh, Darren's saying he's on the 15-minute, but it's set to refresh 10 times per second. Crypto golfer, no, let's freak out. Go back to the 1 minute. I'm on the 1 minute. As long as we're staying above this line, we might as well look at the 1 minute and see what's going on. See how high we can go. And I really what I'm gonna do is put, all right, I'll do that on this. 29,190 according to this chart. So all right, so that is, no, we can't make it a dotted line. That's going to be a yellow line. That's where we have to get above. So this is on the 1 minute time frame, ultra zoomed in. This would set a new high for the year 2023. If we can get above this yellow line that we got just maybe $7 away from a few minutes ago. Austin said, I don't know about 30K today, but after CPI, I see it. Yeah, especially, you know, if that CPI comes in decently, like our poll predicted. Our poll thought somewhere between 5.2 and 5.6. And I broke that into two groups, but they tied 41 to 41. I think for some reason it changed to 40 to 40. So that's 80% of the people thought we were going to be in what I consider to be what a good zone that the market is going to feel like was a good number, was a positive, a strong number. Scott Richardson, 30K is going to fall soon. I see Riot breaking 10 again today. Need Mara to push closer to 9. Yeah, I mean, Riot's at $9.87. I mean, these big market caps, Riot and Marathon are the two big market caps by far in this space. They just are. It's not even close. Cypher is in third. They're a distant third, but they're a solid third. Hut is a distant fourth, and then it just goes down from there. Most of the rest of these are half the size or less than half the size of Cypher, which is the third biggest. And Cypher's much less than half the size of Riot and Marathon. So this is where the concentration of the money is. And these three are up 7.7, 5.9, and 6.4 today. So this is a strong day. Almost everything is now green. It is hard to imagine that everything is not green on this board today with Bitcoin doing this, what it's doing right now. Wolf, 10% still leading the way. So Wolf's been leading the way the whole day. Come on, Cleanspark, said Cosmic. James Ross, Cleanspark all the way. Dev William, Cleanspark starting to move. So Cleanspark's on this 3.69. Let me get to one that I think is even a little bit more up to date. Let's see what that has to say. Because these move fast. Yeah, 4.07 is what I'm showing. So Cleanspark's up a little over 4%, it looks like. So everything is pushing. And I mean, if we get through this, this is light action, in my opinion, for where we're going. If we continue this run, I think we have a really nice day. Now, let's see what the market is doing. Did the market turn around, or is this just a Bitcoin thing? So the Dow is now positive. I don't really look at the Dow, but you know the Nasdaq and the S&P continue to improve on the day. They're still in the red, but much improved from the beginning of the day. So everything seems to be moving in the right direction. And clearly, but none of those are at or near a breakout like Bitcoin is sitting right here. We're now in this super tiny range. We really want to stay above this line. From my perspective, I think that is important. This line, this red line at 28,800, and we're at 29,100 right now. So if we could stay above that, that would be a gigantic. We've been waiting for weeks and weeks, the better part of a month. Like we started to approach this March 22nd, I guess, is the first time we technically candle wicked above this line. But, you know, we've been above 27,000 since March 17th. It's now April 10th. So, you know, that's a long... Yeah, look at this 4-hour candle. Can it do it? Can it keep running? Oh, on the 1 minute, we have now crossed. We have now officially crossed. I got no button for that. We have crossed the line. We just set a new 2023 high, according to this, 29,273. And I know that this does vary depending on, literally depending on what exchange you're on. So this is tracking Coinbase. I'm on TradingView and it's using the Coinbase. So, you know, some of these are a few dollars here or there, but we clearly have some excellent momentum going at the moment. $29,240. So let's just hang on for a few minutes and just see where do we go. Let's get to, I mean, can this run to 30,000 from here? That's asking an awful lot. I'm impressed and surprised we broke through 28.8 so quickly. As I was just saying, you know, there's a squeeze, but it could take a week or a week and a half. It's now it's an hour later and we've gotten a really strong push. Where's the confetti? I need a button, a confetti button. Life is saying Apple stock app, not the most accurate, but perhaps the most visible in the public eye. And what are they? What's that chart saying? 29,145. DEFCON 2 money bags. All right. Hopefully everybody is having a good day in their portfolio. See, this is what I hate about the 1 minute. Like, you know, now we have one bad minute and you feel like things are going the wrong way. But this is, I mean, it would be nice to break above. This spot is where we were last time, you know, 2-3 weeks ago. So if we can, and it just, boom, jumped right back above it as I'm speaking. Ray said, go, go, go to the moon. Let's go. It's go time. Yeah, this is some of the best price action we've ever had on a live stream. So these were, especially this line right here, we have been waiting and talking about and waiting forever on this one. So if this is in fact the move that holds above that, that would be monumental in my opinion. So we got to hold. So for me, if this 4-hour candle can close above this red line at 28.8, and again, we're still above, we're at 29 of 150-ish right now, so we're well above that, but things change quickly. You know, we were, at the beginning of this candle, we were, you know, way under this line. So if we can hold this line, and then if somehow, maybe if we can get above this line, which was that previous candle wick, like 12 days ago. So we've already candle wicked above this candle wick. Let's see if we can close a 4-hour above this, and then from there, a daily, etc., etc. Darren said, I think we're bumping the 21-week moving average. Let me see if I can get that on the chart. Crypto Golfer, all we had to do was get rid of George for Bitcoin to pump. LOL. Let's see. Some people are having conversations that I'm out of the loop on. I'm too far behind in the chat. We have a double top on the 5-minute. The run may be over shortly. Let me get back to the 1 minute. Yeah, it's hard to this is why these make me crazy. But it's fun for right now. I mean, we are sitting right here on the brink. Plus which, really, all of this is super strong because this is the line I'm looking to hold. And to me, it looks like we're in, you know, we're positioning ourselves to have a very good chance of closing a 4-hour candle. The one thing you always want to be careful of is what happens so many times is, well, let's see if I can find an example. You know, you close, you'll see like you have a nice 4-hour green candle here and then a giant red candle that follows it. So we want to make sure we want to follow this green candle at least with a sideways candle, because oftentimes, you know, here there was a couple in between, but you get a green candle up, sideways, and then right back down to where you started. So let's hope this move is to the upside. If we do pull back, what would be great is if we could bounce off of 28.8 and hold that as resistance, or sorry, support. That would actually even be more bullish than just keeping up in a straight line for the next few minutes. So either way, the next few 4-hour candles and the daily candle today are all important to me, and this is maybe breaking through sooner than I thought. On the 1 minute, we're back above the yellow line. That yellow line is the previous high from about 2 weeks ago. And that is really about a 10-month high. So we're sitting at about a 10-month high for Bitcoin right now as we speak. James Ross said, raising rates had a short cycle in boosting the dollar. The dollar goes weaker from here. Faith has been lost around the world. So I don't disagree with you. I keep expecting the dollar to get weaker. And it could, Bitcoin's running again. We're at 29,311. So I don't know if this is a short squeeze. I will tell you, I did pull up an article that we were unlikely to. So here's an article from today. Bitcoin faces low risk of liquidations-induced price volatility. So we're up 70% on this run is what it's saying. And this basically goes on to say, you know, the amount long and short right now is very low in comparison. So, you know, the smaller those amounts are, the less chance that you're going to have just a squeeze based on liquidations for people that are highly leveraged. So we're at a lower point of leverage than we have been in a long time. Not to say we're at zero leverage. So some of this could be still a squeeze of some of the people that are left in there, but this is less a function of a squeeze. I mean, this article came out today. So just again to clarify, liquidations refer to forced closure of bullish long and bearish short positions in leveraged perpetual futures market. They often exacerbate price movements. So yeah, because they feed on themselves as you know, these positions are forced to close, it drives the price even further in that direction, and then even more positions are forced to close. But you know, here we are on a day where there's specifically an article saying don't worry about that, and we tend to be getting a pretty strong move right here. So just from this one candle where we broke out, you know, we're up 1.5%, but from the last close, so this was last Thursday in the U.S. because there was no trading on Friday. This is now almost a 4.5% move to the upside. That's a very strong move. So if you think about it from that perspective, these are barely leveraging off of that. You know, Riot, Marathon, and Cypher seem to be in the neighborhood of a 2x leverage. Iris Energy is in the neighborhood of a 2x leverage, but you know, Bitfarms up 3%. Cleanspark is now over 5%, but there's room to run if this keeps going. TerraWolf still the leader on the day at 10.6% on this chart. I don't know if somebody else is in further real time. Can Bitfarms get over $1 today? So we're back to 95 cents for Bitfarms. This is why I'm not worried. And here's the thing. Once it gets over $1 and once Bitcoin verifies that it has created this as a line of support, in my opinion, right now, they're trying to keep Bitfarms under $1, and I think they will abandon ship on that mission if Bitcoin is truly taking the next leg up. That's too hard of a battle to fight, and I think there's a big gap on the Bitfarms chart to where that could jump up if Bitcoin can hold the run that it's having right now. Same thing with CleanSpark. To me, those two are the laggers, and I'm just going to go, let me go to this chart. Not this chart. Okay, so this is year to date. This is every Bitcoin miner year to date. This is their performance from January 1st through, I'm calling it Friday because we measure this every Friday, although the equity markets were closed, so technically this was the close on Thursday. So you will now see in the first quarter, so we're 1 quarter and 1 week into the year. The best Bitcoin miner is DigiHost, up 336%. Core Scientific up 334%. That's a little misleading because they did go into Chapter 11 and they were down 99 point something percent. Cypher's up 316%. That's not misleading. This catapults them into the third largest market cap out of all the Bitcoin miners. So that's a monster move. Riot is the largest market cap. It's up 170%. Marathon's the second largest. It's up 133%. My point of all this is I am still looking at CleanSpark, which is now in absolute dead solid last place out of all the Bitcoin miners in the year 2023. They're now in a distant last place. So I know what some of the arguments against CleanSpark are, but I would ask you, just do those mathematically account for all of their peers? You know, these are some of the smaller ones. Wolf is now surging. Wolf was way behind. It's up 50%, so that has lagged, and you can see it's running now. It's getting its turn. Wolf was the last one to go green, so Wolf was in last place on this list for a long time. It's now getting a nice run up. So, and that was that was part of the, theory is this was lagging behind. Now, sometimes things lag behind for a very good reason, so, you got to make that decision for yourself. But to me, CleanSpark is up 20% on the year. That's versus most of its peers are up well over 100% into the 130 to 150 to 170% area. So that's one way of looking at this. And again, I have a lot of these charts, and each one I try to take in perspective with all the other charts and all the other data that's out there. So no one chart's going to give you the answer, but this is another piece of the puzzle. And you can see Bitcoin, this is prior to the run today, was up 69% on the year. And if I go back, so we're kind of hanging out at this line, which was our 10-month high at 29,190. So very comfortably, 29,202, very comfortably above 28,8 for now. So I'm calling this a big win. So Pobrain is asking, can Bitfarms get over $1 today? I don't know, because you can see they're pushing it down as hard as they can. But I do think if this price action holds on Bitcoin, whether it's today or tomorrow or the next day, Bitfarms will jump over $1. And I think it's going to gap up a little bit from there. I think there's some room between $1 and maybe $1.30 and $1.40 where it really, in my mind, should be right now. That's my personal opinion. Please do your own due diligence. But I think there's room there. And it's knocking on the door. You can see this is why I feel like so many of these are going to get back over $1, because a lot of them have already made the journey. And the next one looks like Bitfarms. We just had Wolf today get back over $1. So there's one that happened today. Bitfarms is closing in. We've got the next one behind that is Stronghold at almost 72 cents now. So I mean, that can get there faster than you think. Riot apparently was at $9.99, so it's bumping into a little resistance at $10, but it did break through that. I'll go to Riot's. I'll go to the Riot. Because I think on Thursday it did get above that, but it closed maybe at like $9.99 or $9.99 the day before, $9.16. Let's see, $9.16 close here. So okay, this was $9.99 on March 31st. So that was its highest close. It did get over $10 that day, but did not close over $10. So this is where Riot is. Let me see if I updated that chart. Riot's been performing so far this year. Riot's had very, very strong performance. And there's a couple lines I have on every chart. There's a green line on every chart that I have that dates back to August of 2022. And the reason that is significant was there was a relief rally in August. Bitcoin ran back up to 25,000. That was the last time Bitcoin was at 25,000 all the way until February of 2023. So all this time in the middle, Bitcoin never got back to this level. So we are now well past this level, right? We're over $29,000. This was $25,000. Yet there's not one single Bitcoin miner whose stock has gotten back to where it was last August. Riot, I think, is the closest. So they're very close right now. But again, to me, it doesn't even make sense for them to be there. They've grown substantially. You can't say the price of Bitcoin's down, because from this moment in time, the price of Bitcoin's up $4,000. So this needs to go up about another 6% to finally get to that point. And I think that they should all move beyond. So I do think, but I think, like I was talking about, the market is waiting for this line to become support, in my opinion. So this is all decent price action. Yeah, on the 1 minute, it's looking a little low. We've come down a little bit. Let's look at the 5 minute and see. So on the 5 minute, 29,311, maybe 10 minutes ago. That was the peak so far. We don't know that it's done. And then I'm going to go back to the 15 minute. So we're a little bit in the red on this 15-minute candle, but this was the monster. So 2 candles ago, we had a break to the upside. And I mean, you can see, if you just look at it, there was a big, that whole period of time, we were just in that tiny little range. And then this, as soon as we broke, it ran straight through this resistance. And as soon as it broke, it ran up from there. So to me, this is all very positive price action. Yes, this is getting a little red. And also, yes, buyer beware. So many times we've had these big green candles followed by big red candles. So hoping we avoid that. It's way too soon to tell, so we'll have to see how the rest of the day goes. But right now, all right. Pobrain, thank you very much for the super chat. And Pobrain said, appreciate your time and effort, Tom. My pleasure. You're welcome. And thank you for the super chat and for being a member. Much appreciated. Thanks to all the members and all the super chats today. Very much appreciated. Cosmic Contrarian said, great stream, Tom. And Bitcoin is cooling off a bit. So it does look like it's cooling off a bit. I think on the stream today here, we caught the big part of this run. The question is, can we hold on to it? So that's what I'm going to be looking for. For me, for the next, really, overnight, I'm hoping we can stay above this line at 28.8 and turn this into some support. So not so much on the 15-minute candles, but on these let's get rid of this thing. This is nothing. On the 4-hour candles, if we can stay above this line, and then even better still on the daily candle, if we can close above this line, that would be our first close above 28.8 since July 10th of the year 2022. So that would be a big deal. So I'm hoping we can close above that line. That's my goal for the day. Let's hope these Bitcoin miners can run. Some of them are TerraWolf off to the races, up 12%, leading the way. But there's a lot of other good performers. Riot's up 8.6. Cypher's up 9.4. Iris Energy 8.7. So a lot of nice moves on the day. Let's see if this continues. Hopefully we can continue the rally. Thank you to everybody for joining me on the midday live stream. And we did vote that you guys you like the live streams, so and I do as well, so I want to add more live streams, but I want to do it in a way where we do it on a schedule so people know where and when it is instead of me just jumping on here. So we'll just close out the last poll. What's next for the banks? 75% of people think the situation for the banks is going to get worse, which I would submit to you is very bullish for Bitcoin, in my opinion. So we don't want it to get too bad. Obviously, hopefully nobody's rooting for it to get worse at all. But the reality is whatever it is. And, their pain is probably Bitcoin's gain. So we'll see what happens. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Very much appreciated. Tomorrow I will have a members-only live stream after the market closes. And then I will work on putting out a schedule of live streams so that you guys know when I'm going to be on. Thanks again for joining me. This was a fun ride. We got to be together here on a nice breakthrough. So thanks again, everybody. Have a great day.